weather balloon. An Air Force spokesman confirms tonight that this was no flying saucer.
Hello guys, here is a model I put together to demonstrate the rotating iron cores, and I put this assembly back together, and it's not perfect, it's not balanced. I run it on the lathe, but it's got some imperfections. Anyways, it'll do the job as demonstration wise. And here is the 5-pole armature. I had to rewind it because the way I showed on the post, it's not correct. I had to wind it like this, and if we start here clockwise, when we go in the back end, we're gonna go counterclockwise. Otherwise, if I'll do it continuous like I did, they're gonna cancel each other and there's not gonna be electricity out. So it'll be ideal will be to have either two big poles, or 4 or 6. So we can break it in two because we got 2 poles generator. And the way it runs, it's just like a single coil, the way a generator is. And it runs south and north, north-south. Anyways, this is the front shaft. I got the caps. I got them with screws so I can take them off completely to demonstrate. And I got 2 bearings. They're inner bearings, pretty small, and they're gonna be floating inside there. And this is the way it goes, and this will be hooked right here, and then it comes the cap with the rear bearing. Now I have mounted the magnets in here. This is the rear end, and this will be the locking piece. It's gonna have an Allen screw here to lock up on the rear shaft, inner static shaft. Now this is the north, the south projecting this way. So when I put this piece here, oh, and I got a front bushing just to also with another Allen key to bite into the motor shaft. And once that I put it here, this becomes the south. So no matter if it rotates, it becomes south. So and this is the north, the rear end of it. So I'm gonna be putting together, I'm gonna attach the wires to some little terminals here so I can run it through the scope there, and yeah, take it for a spin. Okay, I have it already assembled it, and you can see the back end piece there. It's locked up, and the 2 connectors are going to channel 2 of the scope. And I got 2 loose terminals that I'm going to be adding a couple of light bulbs. One is a diode, the red diode, and the other one here is an incandescent bulb. It's 2.5 volts, 25 milliamps, and on the scope there I'm measuring 2 parameters, negative wave and positive wave. B max will be the top of the sine wave, and V minus is the negative end, and V amp is the amplitude, which will be doing the adding of both. The power source is going to be feeding this little motor running the generator. It's one of these some of my guys are familiar with it. It's one of these Radio Shack 5-pole little motor. They're pretty good motors. They don't have much torque, and that's the idea why I have chosen them. So it's seen that it's not required to run this type of generator that much torque. And of course the motor is a symmetric. Once that we lock it, it will rise the amperage, but it'll do the job. And the other thing is that I wanted to show is that we get a swapping here. Now if I go here, there's no swapping. We see the south pole there, and here we see the north. But I want to show it when we have trying to make sure that we get all the readings clear. And yeah, so I'm gonna run it at low speed first. Is we can see the scope from there. It's doing 880 millivolt top, 800 minus, and 1.62 volts total. And it's at 2.5, 2.6 volts and 0.58. Now, what I wanted to show is this. We see how it rotates. Now, if I get it closer here, we get the south reading. And if I go in here, we get a north steady reading. You can see it through the glass. Here start the swapping, and that's what it induces the fields. And of course it's AC because we don't have brushes, and we are collecting both ends, the negative and the positive. So I'm going to turn the tachometer on. And I'm gonna add it here. So it's going, well, this lamp is not going to, it's going 870 and 0.58 volts, amps, milliamps. Now I'm gonna hook it to this bulb. It's not gonna turn on, of course. It's only 900 millivolts, but I'm shorting. You can see there the short, and we can see barely an increase on amperage and a drop down of 20 RPMs, somewhere in there. It's not big time decrease or rise of the amperage. And I'm gonna put it here so we can see the bulb. And I'm gonna start increasing speed. Now it's at 0.73. can see the bulb here, and I'm going to disconnect it to see the, so we see there it went to up to 19 and 0.72 amps. I'm gonna hook it back again. We got a drop to 1867, 1886, 1900. It's gaining back, resetting, and 0.73 amps. So the drop down in amp, it's really low. And of course, the higher the RPMs, we're going now at 2300, 23.8. When I hook the bulb, we are at 0.82, 81, and I got the light, the bulb lit up, and we only got 0.83 steady now, 0.84. So we got 4.3 volts, and if we look at amplitude, we have the adding 4.24 volts in this lousy coil, generating coil. So it's not increasing, and the revolution per minute is 2356. Gonna take it off again, and we see a slow climbing up. Now again, if I get this diode, but then again the diodes don't do much difference, and this is AC, we're gonna have a blinking diode very fast. So we see here the now if I short this, we don't see a complete drop down, and still it's trying to keep producing, but we don't see a major. We only see like 50 RPMs drop from 20, well, a little bit more, 200, 300 RPMs from a complete short. But we don't see a high increase on the amperage. It goes around 0.1 amp. So we don't see that much the blinking of it because of the high frequencies going now. It looks like it's steady, but it's not. Anyways, let me go higher. It's 5 volts, 4.9. Let me get it all the way to 5 volts. 5 even. And I connect this and get down. See, before the bulb we are at 0.96, 95, 96, blinking there, and 28 18. I'm gonna hook it 28. And now we are at 0.98 and 28.14, 28.22. And here I'm gonna short it. Oops, this is kind of not much balance on it. $27. I'm gonna short it. Now we see a decrease, of course, but not much. 24.45. I mean, we do these on, and we have on a regular generator, and we gotta drop down almost stalling the motor. So, and I mean, it's pretty good for such lousy winding on the generator fields. It's pretty good. So I'm gonna go higher. And this one, the motor is doing without the bulb on, 1.12. I'm gonna go on, and 3600. We drop down to 3517, 3542, and it's still doing 1.17. And the bulb is pretty lit. Disconnect the bulb. Going back to, I'm gonna short it at this. It rise to 1.28 and it came down to 3024. It's completely shorted. Go back. Came back to 1.16, 17. Hook the bulb on. You got the light. So and I don't know if you notice, guys, but I have a pretty big gap here on the generator. So air gap, I refer, between the magnets there and the iron cores. So little motor is at 90. It's relaxed. And the core is at 71 degrees. When I try to get a reading of the inner windings, it's at 71 degrees. And I don't have connected any vents, as you saw. 85. So, and I can go ahead and connect the diode too. See what happens. We're at 1.17 and 3300. And we got both lighting up. We increased by 0.0503. All right, guys. Hope you enjoy this, and thanks for watching.